Hi everyone, David Aaron Carpenter here with Talking Treasure. Many of you may be shocked to discover that paintings like these sell for hundreds of millions of dollars. It really makes you wonder what people see in the post-war and contemporary art world.
Ongo Goblogian, the art collector. Charmed, I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm going to invite you to a show.
Okay.
But first, allow me to destroy your gallery.
Oh.
Bull. Derivative. That I love. I absolutely love.
That's just the air conditioner.
I want it. It's everything.
On this episode, we explore the painting that sold for $179 million at Christie's in 2015, smashing all previous records set for Pablo Picasso. But before we dive into the world of nine-figure paintings, all I'm asking from you is that you're clicking on the like button and subscribe to my page so that the YouTube algorithm does its thing. Pablo Picasso is considered to be one of the greatest and most prolific artists of all time. He was born in Malaga, Spain, in 1881, and lived the majority of his life in France until his death in 1973. Considered a child prodigy who continued his artistic genius throughout his life, he pioneered the art forms of painting, sculpture, costume design, ceramics, and printmaking. Basically, if it could be done in the art world, he did it. And if it couldn't be done, he created something new. He even co-founded the movement called Cubism, where objects are conveyed as broken up and then reassembled. By any litmus test, Picasso was the greatest artist of the 20th century, and there's no one who knew this more than the man himself. He famously said, "When I was a child, my mother said to me, if you become a soldier, you'll be a general. If you become a monk, you'll be the Pope. Instead, I became a painter and wound up as Picasso." So, what makes this painting great? Picasso based his painting on Eugène Delacroix's 1834 masterpiece, Femme d'Argent dans leur appartement. The painting caused quite the sensation when it was displayed at the Paris Salon, as it depicted Algerian woman smoking opium in a harem. The painting was purchased by King Louis Philippe, and after Delacroix's death in 1874, moved to the Louvre, where Picasso would make monthly visits to study it. After 100 studies on paper and 14 other paintings, this version O is acknowledged as the masterpiece. Let's examine what makes this painting so special. Well, to me, first off, it's the color clashes. It's astounding. Look at the references to Cubism. There's flat and fractured perspective, which echoes Matisse's oeuvre, and all of Picasso's obsessions and fantasies violently rolled into one response to Delacroix. Picasso unknowingly created a new style of painting. Picasso's works have always been expensive. His self-portrait Yo Picasso from 1901 sold for $47.9 million in 1989, a staggering amount of money even by today's standards. Les Femmes d'Argent was bought by Victor and Sally Gans in 1956 for $212,000, which at that time was also a staggering amount of money. They kept the works, and as time went by, slowly de-acquisitioned their collection, keeping this painting, version O, until a 1997 Christie's sale. Version O sold for $31.9 million to a Saudi Arabian art collector. In 2015, the painting again appeared at Christie's, and this time sold for $179.5 million to another Middle Eastern buyer. Man, to think if I kept all of my Bitcoin, that painting would be up right here. To give you a sense of how much money that is, it's more than the entire GDP of Kiribati, an island in the Pacific with over 100,000 residents. The previous world record for an artist was Francis Bacon's triptych, Three Studies of Lucian Freud, which sold for $142 million in 2013. So just because one work sells for a massive price does not mean that everything else appreciates to a similar price range. On the flip side, when Picasso sets a world record, more collectors will take notice of other works and actively seek out Picassos to collect, which helps the overall liquidity of the market. I have had the honor of purchasing a few works by Picasso, and I'm always looking out for more. And the great thing is, Pablo Picasso made over 50,000 works in all mediums, so you could probably find a ceramic work for only a few $1,000s at a Sotheby's or Christie's sale, so be on the lookout. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in to this episode of Talking Treasure. See you next time.